really excited to share all of that. All right. Again have a bad hair day, but we'll work with that. Hi, Sareen. Hello and welcome to this week's live. I'm Samriddhi, your Cosmic Soul Whisperer, your Akashic channel. And every week we come together to look at what we can get from every week and how can we consciously move in every week so that we can make the most of it energetically. So this week there's a lot of excitement. Many things have happened. So let's start off with a little review of the previous week and any carry forward energy from the previous week. So if you remember last week, there were certain, hi Javed, last week there were certain messages from our channeling session, and the first one was only grounded perception can pass through distortion. We saw that vision where only once you had the grounded perception, the light, the density became easier, and then we were able to see through things. So there was an overall theme of deep needing for grounding, and a lot of things were coming up that were allowing us to, or at least for me and the clients and people that I was meeting, where everything was related to grounding. Lots of cosmic messages are coming through, lots of gifts, spiritual gifts are coming through, but there was a need for more grounding so that it can really be lived through in the physical experience. So that was one overall theme. Then we also had a very interesting new being enter our field, Bagla Mukhi Ma. And I'd not known about her before, or at least I never consciously remembered her name. But she is a goddess that represents release of all negative energies, and she protects you from any kind of bad vibrations or unhelpful, non beneficial energies that may be interacting with your field at any multidimensional level. So, many people consider that to be a defense for psychic attacks, for mind control, for thoughts being sent to you, envy being sent to you, and you trying to balance that energy and be able to moderate your life and operate on your highest frequency um, without getting compromised by these energetic attacks. So Bagla Mukhi Ma had come in in the last week to be able to. I'm saying yesterday. That's interesting. Okay, even yesterday, and she came in last week to protect and assist us in our collective messaging so that we can navigate fearlessly. Then we also saw the need for more grounding and clarity, and that clarity doesn't come from more analysis. This was another one. So, all the places where you have a dream and you're trying to analyze it, you have a situation and you're trying to see what is it trying to show me? How do I work with this? Oh, I got this sign. Maybe this is the analysis of the sign. Welcome, Nimisha. So there was all of this happening. And during all these times, the invitation was, hi, Teresa. The invitation was that we don't get into the overthinking, the interpretation, but we experience it through the messages of it, through the heart space, through our body, through our experience of deeper truth coming through our body. So that was the invitation. Now, some of these things really came through. Actually, all of it was literally coming through in everything I was doing last week, even until yesterday. And there were a couple of things that happened during my sessions last week, and some of the overall themes that I was seeing were definitely energy protection, and I found myself channeling akashic messages that were all about it's not as complicated as you're thinking it is. There is definitely a solution to this, and it is right in front of you, but it's going to take time. It's going to take time to establish the foundations of what you're about to build. And those were the overall messages coming through for almost all my clients last week. And I felt like that would also be a carry forward energy for the collective this week because, believe it or not, the clients that I get to work with every week, they actually co-create with me messages for the next week for the collective because they are in a way forerunning by working directly with the Akashic realm and bringing true collective messages. So that's why whenever you come in for an Akashic journey with me, remember that you're also kind of creating some blueprints and shifts and enhancements for the collective for the week, for the coming week. For most people going on this rhythm, some people may be a bit ahead, some people may need a bit more time, but that's kind of the overall. So welcome to all the new people who are joining. And we also had another interesting thing that happened. And this was a story that happened with me. Now, my mom and I, we went shopping, and we just, just the regular grocery shopping. So we went into this IGA store. We just got our veggies and all the basic stuff because it was close to home, and we paid the money. And there was a huge queue behind us. This is also something I've been noticing now, that wherever I'm going, I notice that it may be empty, but after I've gone into the checkout, or a person that I know has gone into a checkout, um, suddenly it starts to fill up. And I'm actually seeing this not as, I mean, I'm not sharing this as, oh, I'm lucky, that's why other people are following me. And that's really not the message here. The message is, once somebody takes an initiative in our collective, everyone else is looking at that as the new direction. So, it's kind of like, energetically, you are being asked to spiritually lead your community, spiritually lead your friendships. And I know that can be a little complex thing to think about, because we don't want to put ourselves in any leadership position. We want to be friendly, collaborative. We want to be in an equal relationship with everyone, which is great, which is true. But there's something which is something that is corresponding to being equal, and something that's equity. And we were talking about justice last week and the week before that. That's why the word equity is still floating in our energy field. So, you may have some wisdom, you may have some new point of view that can assist others. And if you're here to be of service, and to be able to experience this life and explore this life with beauty, with exploration, with curiosity, with peace, with love, with abundance, then you also become someone who's collecting a lot of wisdom along the way. And then that can also be an invitation to be of service whenever you want to do that. So this is really that interesting and beautiful theme around that's coming in. So that invitation is for you to step into that leadership, because you may be starting something and you don't even know. It might even just be standing in a grocery store, where there's nobody, and once you leave, suddenly people start coming through. Anyway, that was just one side message, but the main message from that experience was, we paid the money. It was crowded, so we wanted to get out of there very quickly and get to the next part of our day. So, we pressed the lift. I had to put the sign in key thing, and it beeps, and then you're allowed to press the the store floor number. So I pressed my floor number, which is number 23. And we saw that it had, it lit up, so it was activated, which was a good thing. And because from the ground floor to almost the top of this building, there are many floors that people stop at. I hardly ever have the experience of coming straight from ground floor to my apartment. So we were standing there very much prepared that there will be some people who will get off along the way. And I noticed that as soon as somebody got off another floor, I think it was 14th floor or something, and the thing suddenly reset. And it was no longer showing 23. Now, because the lift was already being called down, it started to go ground floor again. And it was quite funny. It was almost like the lift was, or universe was trying to push us to go back to something, and we were not supposed to come back home just yet. And I didn't really think of it in those terms. There was a time when I used to live by everything is a sign, everything is a symbol. And sometimes I don't live by that magic. So it was a good reminder for me to get back to that magic. So when that happened, we forced ourselves to actually come back on 23rd floor again. So we went down and we came back up. And we realized that out of all the shopping bags, there was one that we already paid for and that we didn't collect from the shop. So we had to laugh because we had to now go back, and that's what the lift was trying to do. It was just making us go back to the ground floor so that we remember and we can go and collect our shopping bags. So, shopping bag. So we got down, we went, we collected our grocery. I was worried whether the shopkeeper will remember and be able to give us what we forgot to pick up. And she was already ready. She was standing outside and she was ready. Here's your bag, and you also forgot your receipt, so here's your receipt. And it was just beautiful, and I had to smile because I knew this was that one thing that was going to become a theme for next week's collective, in a way. So there may be something in your life that you have already worked hard towards, and you have forgotten that you did that kind of work. Hi, Chrissy. So this week is an invitation to go back. The universe may redirect you to something that you've already worked hard towards, something that you've already reaped a benefit towards. You've already paid the bill, and it's ready and waiting for you to collect. And this week may be a time for you to actually regain that abundance, or go back and collect something that you had forgotten to collect after you worked hard for it. So that was a very interesting symbol that I received through that experience. Then there's also something very interesting I wanted to share. That's why I've written it down. I try to keep it as spontaneous as possible, but sometimes, I don't want to miss out a message that is important for us. Now, anyone who's joined, hi Dan, anyone who's joined, I would love to know what your week has been like. What was your last week like? And what is the intention you're holding for this week? So, what was your last week like? And what's your intention for this week? So, as you continue to put that in chat, I'll also share with you now about something very special happening this week. And of course, please note that anytime you leave a comment for me, I always reply to every single comment, and I do that with a lot of gratitude and love. Because I'm so glad that we get to do this together. You choose for your soul to come to a platform where we do some collective messages together, so that we can consciously move together and in our own ways, make our lives a little bit better, make our world a little bit better, and in a way contribute to the collective. So I'm very grateful we get to do that. All right, so I'm waiting for your messages to come in. Whether you're watching live or replay, know that I reply to all comments. So this week, something very special has happened. Actually, it started either on Saturday or Sunday. Can't remember. I think it was Saturday. Last week on Saturday, in the Vedic tradition, there's something called Purushottam Mas. It is literally a whole month out of time. It's kind of like every approximate 3 years, you get, if you're following this Vedic and lunar calendar, every 3 years you get one extra month. This whole month is called Adhik Mas, which literally means extra month, or it is also called Purushottam Mas. Now, what does this mean? This, and Mas is also, I think it's the same in Spanish, Mas. So there are lots of words in Hindi, in Sanskrit, in my native mother tongue, Marwari, that are very Rajasthani, that are very similar to European languages. So, of course, everything meets somewhere. So this whole month that started off on Saturday, it's a profound month because it's come back in our life after 3 years. So think about, what were you doing at around this time 3 years ago? So around in March of 2023, what was your life like? What were your questions like? What were the things that were making you happy? What were the things that were making you focused or anxious? So there's a similar theme coming in now, and you're getting that extra time to digest it, to process things, to go in your inner world, to meditate, to bring through the true wisdom. It's kind of got that same effect as the Mayan calendar. They have one day which is a day out of time. I think that's 25th of July every year, and they have it fixed on that particular day when it's called a day out of time. So 25th of June or July, one of those days. That's the day which is not noted in the calendar. It's like kind of a break day, and then you get back to the calendar. So here is a break month, and then we get back to the calendar. And although it is only you might say it's only a calendar, we don't follow that calendar, so maybe we don't get the effects of it. Well, every kind of calendar that has been made by our ancestors, which, no matter where we come from, it's got a tuned in collective energy to it. It is connected in some way or another to the essence of nature. So if there has been that, and it has been continued for thousands of years, it still has an effect and connection with nature. So hi. So as this is continuing, allow this time to be this time to go inwards. What would you do if you had an extra month? Where what are the things that you would care about? What are the things that you would go and do? How would you take care of yourself during that time? How would you have fun during that time? And what what are the things you would do without worrying about the bottom line in your life. So that's really the theme of this month. Now, energetically, spiritually, in my family, this is kind of a time when there's a lot of energy put towards devotion. Nothing new is started. If you're starting a new business or if you're starting a new course, they say that either start a little before that or a little bit after that. No weddings take place during this time as well, because this is a time that is, it's kind of a boundary set up, so that this is not a time when you're again going externalizing your life, but you're actually focusing on going inwards and experiencing life from within with the spaciousness of time. So this is also a time when there is a deep focus on Vishnu, and one of Vishnu's avatars is Krishna. So a lot of Krishna meditations go, a lot of Bhagavad Gita lessons happen during this time. My mother started Bhagavad Gita, so every day there's a chapter that is read, and they complete it in that particular time. And it's a time of spending your time in devotion, or spending your time in doing things that you would do if you had the abundance of time. So the concept of time becomes just so luxurious during this time. Well, of course, that doesn't mean that we don't have to pay rent. That doesn't mean that we don't have the certain targets that we have in our mind to meet, whether it is to go and meet certain people, to go and do certain things this month. You may have to accomplish all of that, and that's okay. But yet, allow yourself this luxury of time of what you would do if you had an extra month. This is, consider this to be that extra month where there's internalization rather than externalization. Now, as we move ahead, I just want to pause and see, how is this landing for you? What would you do if you had an extra month in your life that you didn't need to account for? What would you do? So just leave that in comments. And as you do that, we'll go now to the next part. Now, what I'm going to do is I'll tune into the collective Akashic messages. I'm going to download a vision for our collective, and from that, we'll not only look at the message from the collective, but we'll also bring in some light language activation to heal and assist us to be on this path for the month. All right. I'm also going to just have a sip of my tea. That was funny. All of you were just watching me having tea. Thank you so much for giving me that spaciousness. All right. So as I'm tuning in, allow this also to be a time for you to tune into your heart. If you're in a position where you can close your eyes or put on your headphones, I would highly recommend that. If you're not in that position, that's okay. You can just continue to listen to me. So, as I'm closing my eyes and tuning into the collective Akashic vision, I've done a prayer process before we got on this call. I'm seeing it's kind of like the red light on ambulances. Okay, why am I saying that? So there's a vehicle that's moving out. It's There's no traffic as such, but it's kind of like an ambulance thing, but it's got this red light thing, and that's sparking now, and that's lit up. And through this, what I'm seeing is, instead of going into the three dimensions of what is happening with this ambulance that's going or rushing somewhere, because the light is on, we are going in and visiting this from a higher dimension, and we're just getting inside this light, this red light. Now, as we get inside this red light, it's actually activating and healing and releasing our emergency responses. So as we're tuning into this energy, I still see the presence of Baglamukhi Ma. I also see the presence of Pachamama. She's come here in a very solid, grounded form. And I'm also seeing that there is a lot of energy coming into the solar plexus area in this collective field. So, any of the areas of your life where fear has been coming up, where you've been afraid to do something or start something new, this is the time when that is beginning to be recounted. You're being asked to relook at it and just check if that's really something to be afraid of. Is that really something to be alarmed by? And as you continue to do that, I'm seeing that there's also this energy going in your solar plexus, which is about filling yourself with power, understanding that you are a being of power and balancing yourself with that power. Now, power has been misused, abused so much in many of our common culture stories that we sometimes feel like power is a bad word. But here, power is a very good word. It is your true inner power. It is the power that comes from knowing that you are a part of the divine. You're a part of this flow of life, but you're not just limited to this lifetime. You're beyond this lifetime. Hi, Kinney. And as you get into that deep awareness, understanding and remembering yourself as a spiritual being, living this three-dimensional experience right now, but you may also have other parallel realities with you. You may have other dimensional experiences with you, and all of that is happening. But right now, your consciousness is sitting with your three-dimensional reality here and now, and you're not limited to that. This is really that remembrance that you are so much beyond that. And as that power is stepping in, this beautiful golden energy is activating a kind of whirlpool around. Now, this whirlpool is, it looks like a whirlpool, but this is made of clouds. And as they're just coming and, becoming this cyclical loop, this spiral, I'm seeing that many ascended masters are stepping in. So, whoever you call, whoever you connect with, saying, okay, this is where I access higher intelligence, that being may be showing you a sign this week. This sign is not going to come to you as, with a lot of bells and rings and dance and music. It may, but it is really coming into you through deep inner knowing and emotional. It's got an emotional quality to it. So you may feel that you're connected, you're deeply seen, you're deeply held by something that is beyond you, beyond your power. So there is a lot of spaciousness in this week. And because Purushottam Mas or Adhik Mas has just begun, the effect and the power may feel much more drastic than last week. So you may start to feel things are slowing down. The need to push and get things done outside of you, that need may start to really pace itself. So something still need to get done, and I don't think that we live a life where we can just leave everything and go in the forest and meditate. We all have these lives that we need to live. We go and do grocery, we drive a car, we go and walk in the park, we take care of our pets, all those things that happen. We live with our partners, or whatever your 3D experience is. So within that 3D experience, this time is a time that is allowing you spaciousness to really emotionally connect with the love in your life, and the love for life. So if we have been unconsciously walking this life, not loving our life, this is a time to really look and shape that. The message is that as soon as that whirlpool starts to churn and it settles, as soon as it settles, I'm seeing like a column of light that's reaching this red traffic signal light, not traffic signal light, sorry, the emergency light on an ambulance car, and that is allowing the ambulance to stop. And as this ambulance stops, I'm seeing that this light has now become golden, and it's no more an emergency. It's a very calming golden frequency. This is also what is known as the Krishna consciousness or Christ consciousness, where everything has accessed its fifth dimensional, multidimensional reality. And now you're no more in the 3D limitations of what is possible and what is not possible. You desire something, then you know that this desire has been put in you. If it is a pure desire, it has been put into you through your higher self, through the divine. And that's why it is also a part of this cosmic connection. So everything becomes sweeter, everything becomes gentle. There's an emotional healing taking place this week. Then I'm also seeing the presence of course, your ascended master. I see this ascended master as Krishna. So Krishna's energy is quite beautiful. As you may have experienced or heard about this wonderful being, this being in the galactic Akashic records and beyond has helped many different creations, and he is an aspect of Vishnu, the one that is the sustainer of life. So he's been the one that sustains many universes. Now Krishna is also a master of parallel universes and parallel timelines. This is an information that I just got yesterday, which was quite fascinating. So if you have a parallel lifetime version of yourself, what does that really mean? um, so you went to the shop to buy something, and instead of buying a green color something, you bought a red color something. So there are many timelines where the first one, where in this active timeline you bought a green color something. Let's call it a lollipop. You got a green color lollipop. There is a parallel lifetime where you chose to buy a red color lollipop. Another one where you bought the other colors, where you bought nothing. So there are so many infinite possibilities with each thing. And these are all in bubbles. And only the one that you're living through, where your consciousness is working through, this becomes your physical reality. All the others become your parallel realities. Now, all of the parallel realities, all of the multidimensional realities coming together of the source experiencing itself outside of itself, they become the part of Maya. That is the greatest illusion created by the cosmos, the great creation, for it to know itself. Now, I know I'm going a little bit really deep and philosophical today. That is really kind of the energy of this week as well. So, there are many parallel realities that are living with you right now. Many choices that you could have made, or you made, or you didn't make. And as in, you said no to the choice, you said yes to the choice, or you did not choose. All of those infinite realities of every timeline are presented to you at this time. There is a rejig. So if you want to jump a particular timeline, this is also an invitation for that. Now, this is something that I probably may be able to explain well with some preparation on a podcast. If I do that, I'll definitely share with you. But I can share with you that I have jumped so many timelines, and I've jumped so many parallel realities within this timeline as well, that the people living with me, the people in my life, have different experiences compared to me about what actually happened. Even if I look at my childhood memories, if I look at things that happened when I was a teenager, they they absolutely are. Not in the same storyline as me. When I say this happened, they say, no, no, actually, this happened. And I clearly remember this happened. They clearly remember that happened. So these stories are shifting because I am joining the parallel life versions of them that experienced something else. But I did not like where I was going in those versions. So I jumped into these timelines. So when you keep jumping timelines with the intention of moving towards your highest good, lots of miracles take place, and lots of things happen that you didn't expect to heal. I'm just reading a comment here. Most people choose to be in comfort and fear, even if explained. That is true. That when that happens, we all do that from time to time. We kind of get stuck in something called the victim mindset, and either we can be stuck in the victim mindset, or we can jump into a timeline where that has solved, where you've learned the skills to solve that, or you gain the wisdom that was meant to be gained. And so you don't need that experience anymore. So it kind of dissolves from your timeline. So this week is about jumping timelines, and ask Krishna, the ascended master Krishna, to assist you with jumping and becoming your highest version, your highest timeline. The best way to do that is to retrieve your soul from all the places it has been stuck in, all the could have, should have, would have, regrets or choices, or over analysis of things that you didn't do or did do or did not choose to do. All those things, to bring back your soul from all those areas that has been splitting you, and that will allow you to be the highest, most integrated version. And so when you're in the most integrated version, I don't know how to explain this. You literally jump into the highest version, the highest timeline possible. So even the things that you felt like they could not ever be solved, let's say a court case, or there was a relationship that was never going to have the potential in a particular, like you felt it would never have this potential to be in this way or this level of harmony. Suddenly those things start to shift as well. So that's the miracle of Krishna. That's the miracle of shifting timelines with Krishna. So allow this week to be that. In fact, this whole month has that energy and that theme. And if you notice this month, the month of May, it started from on the 1st of May, we had Buddha Purnima. So it also started with this energy of detachment and the energy of really focusing on the middle path, the balanced path. So it is all about grounding and alignment. And I believe that May is this month where we are being asked to prepare for an expansion that is to come in our lives in the next couple of months. And it may happen so expansively, it may happen so quickly that you would feel like, yes, this was a good time. May was a good time for me to really set the record straight, set all the fundamentals straight in my life, all the foundations that I need, so that now when I expand, I don't come back crashing. I have structures that support me. I've been talking about this for a while. So this, it feels even overall like this whole year has that feeling to it, that it's a foundational year for the next few things that you're about to do with your soul. And if you're tuning into this message, and if your heart has called you to or led you to be a part of this community, this message, then you are definitely somebody who's come in with a larger purpose beyond just surviving in this lifetime. You've come here to do something for the collective. You've come here to be a grid keeper or a wisdom keeper of sorts. You've come here to transform maybe relationships, maybe people, maybe a certain bring awareness to something, or maybe to break certain circuits around us. Things that have been going on for centuries, but now it's time for it to break. And all of you are definitely circuit breakers. I can definitely feel that. And that's why you're all so welcome. I'm so glad that we are all getting to do this. And as we do this, there is a little bit of a light language activation coming through as well to assist us to be able to stay on this path, choose our highest timeline from all the parallel realities so that we can be the highest version we can be. So for those of you who find light language new, feel it as a language of vibrations that's speaking and helping you with vibrational shifts, or giving you permission slips for you making those vibrational shifts in your energy, so that you can be in full alignment with your own soul. Anasarashulunu kutaranasa hina shurasaha. Ilanasa asalana shukuranasa. Deep emotional healing. Yana surashunu suratu kunashara nasala sha'a. Great soul. Yana shurunu sulunu kushanasa anasha. Maybe you have started to over-identify with your name, with your address, with your position, with your gender, with your sexuality, with your money, or no money. You have started to over-identify with that. Yala nashuru no sui nashu no kura nasala nashu. Now there is an invitation for you, great soul. Yana shuru no sunukusha nasuka shala nashu unasa, to expand the barriers of what you think you are, who you think you are. Yala nashunuku sanasha. You are even beyond your thought. Yala nashurukuno shui nasukura nasha. Great soul, you are the one that created these experiences and can create any experiences you like. Yana shurunu sunukusha anasa. And so this is the time to really go in and know that power, taste that power that you are, the great spirit that lives within you. Yanashurana Sulana Shuutakanasha. And now Pachamama is stepping forward. She is bringing in beautiful grounding. And this is a part of one of the Munaiki shamanic practices that I teach. She is weaving a black skirt around you, men or women. This is an energetic kind of like a boundary that is she is building around you. Yana solution of the rich, fertile black soil of the earth that has the power to break down anything and make it so fertile. Anything can grow there. More life comes through that. Yana Shunuku, and it is the greatest protector. So now what she's doing is she's creating this beautiful black cocoon around you. Now remember, this is not dark force kind of black energy. This is the divine black, the mother, divine mother. You lived in the womb of your mother for 9 months or whatever, around the 9 months. And you as a soul experienced that it was all black there until the first light came. So for you, that black at the soul level is sitting in the womb of creation itself, connecting with it like that. But if you're not comfortable with the color black for whatever reason, I'm feeling that energy in this group, you can see whatever color makes you feel safe. Like, we can go with the most safest color. We can go with either green or we can go with violet. So if you're choosing green, it is also another aspect or color of Pachamama. So she's bringing in this beautiful green energy. Even red energy is all her. Yana Suru Shunuluna Kusha Ana Salana Shuunu Sunasha, or whichever color, violet, Yana Sulana Shunukuraka, covering yourself with this Yana Shulun Shukunu Shunukusana. She's almost like putting like a balm all over your body, and she's just creating this coating around you. This is a coating that will allow you to reset. Yana Shurunu Salana Shurukunuku. This is a time, beautiful soul, for a sacred reset in your life. Yana Surana Shurisi Analana Shukuna Sarasha. You may have been going in a certain direction unconsciously. Now, either you can continue going in the same direction more consciously or change direction if you need to. Yana Shulana Surunu Shukunu Surunuku. Because from here, any choice that you make, may it be with love. May it be with love for your life. Yana shuruno suna shana sala. So if there is any vibration of depression that has come into your field, any sadness that you may have felt recently, I'm almost feeling this, a little bit teary as this is coming up. Yana shuruno, she is here to give you this unconditional love. Yana Shurasana Sha, heal you emotionally. Yana Shuruno Suruno Chukatana Rana Sa'a, and allow you to be on your highest sacred timeline. Anasarashu, Anasarashu, Anasarashu. Isha. So, as you allow this energy to integrate with you, also remember that you can come back and listen to this message anytime during the week or any other week whenever you feel aligned, and allow this to be a place that can come back to re-anchor you so that it can give you some reflection. In the YouTube video, I also share the reflection journal prompt, so you can look at that journal prompt and see if that is something that can help you realign your compass to your heart. So I'm so grateful that we get to do this every week, and I would love to continue this for as long as I can. And I want to continue this because it's so enjoyable to do this together. And as we do this, if you want to go on a personal journey with me to find out what your soul is trying to tell you, and what are your guides wanting to communicate with you, what is the lived Akashic field showing up for you as, who are you in other dimensions, other realities, other timelines, what gifts have you come with, and what are the things that you've come here to untangle. You're very welcome to book a Cosmic Akashic session with me. I'll leave the details of that in the description of this YouTube video. And also, please feel free to come back to this anytime and leave comments of how this is taking you, how you're journeying with this. Know that you have all ways to contact me, so you can just reach out to me in any way to share. And I would love to witness what's going on in your field. So thank you so much. If there's anything you'd like to share, please leave it here in the comments, and I'll definitely read and respond to everything. And I look forward to seeing you next week with the next week's Akashic message. Until then, have a beautiful, beautiful week. So much love.